Okay, guys. All right. So we have our new team call time at 1 p.m. on Mondays in order to, I think, just make it easier for people to be able to enjoy their families and put kids to bed and do everything that we have to do in the evenings. So this is kind of a good quiet time, nap time that a lot of people can make. So today, so we've talked a lot. If you have not yet had the opportunity to go through the content marketing class, definitely look that up in the team calls. And then Joy did a call, and I asked Joy to help me with this call today because she's really been studying how to break down your social media plan. And so if you haven't seen her call yet, make sure you look at her call. And she took notes. So in the comments, she put all of the main points. And one of the things that's really been on my heart lately is, one, honoring the time that we take away from our families to do the business, and two, to really have focused business hours. If you have not listened to, I added in, I think, the Power Hour from one of the units. I added yesterday a podcast, or 2 days, whatever. I added a podcast on Friday by this lady who talks about how to stay focused and how to get work done. And it's so good. I'm listening. I always feel like when God's giving me a message, he has to smack me on the head 3 times at least. And he smacked me 4 times in a row with this same message. And the message is, when we sit down, basically when we sit down to work, to put our entire focus on one thing, to get rid of the distractions, to really get into deep work and to follow. Like, I want you to listen. I'm not gonna do that call right now, but I want you to listen to that podcast because it was really good. Happiness Advantage, the guy talks about the same thing. When you sit down to work, put your phone somewhere else. Turn off your notifications. If you're working in email, shut off Facebook. But it helps to really hone in and take the time that we're working and focus it. And that's the point of doing this working, content power hour or team call right now, is because if we have and we work with intention. Again, I'm reading. If you did not see the post I put about intentional living, I'm rereading Intentional Living. If we do not live with intention, especially when it comes to our social media plan, the time that we waste will take away from our families. It will take away from our business. It will soak up energy that we don't have to give. So I'm really excited about sitting down today and doing this because I have to create my own social media plan. We're doing this together. And the person who has gone before us in all of this more than anyone is Joy. And so I'm really excited that she's here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go through our content circles. And Joy, as we're talking through things, if something comes up, please interject, add to it, help lead. But in the marketing class, he talks about, Bob Heilig talks about that there's really 3 areas of your life. Like, I know we talked about 5 pillars before. He says really just 3 areas, or 3 storylines that you're going to want to share. And so what we're going to need to figure out before we start putting things on a calendar is, what are our storylines? And the reason why we have one big circle and then the little circles is because we're going to have one main storyline, but that one main storyline is going to have side things. So for instance, for all of us, our main storyline is going to be fitness or beach body. Okay. We're going to say it's going to be fitness and nutrition. Okay. It's going to be our storyline is that health. Maybe we'll call it health to be easy. Health is probably why all of us are here. We want to be healthy, mind, body, spirit, right? And working out and eating right is part of that. So on one of these circles, the main storyline is health. So write that down. And for you, it would be, yeah, you probably would have this one as well. You're really a rock star. Okay. So now the circles on the outside would represent all, oh, that's okay, Amanda. No problem. And you're welcome to stay on if you want and listen, unless you have to go, and that's totally fine too. Like the background or people in the background doesn't bother us. But if you need to go, totally fine. You can watch the recording. So you're muted. Are you talking? Do you want me to, are you good? Okay. I don't, wait, I'm going to unmute you.
Okay.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, I just think I won't be able to like listen and pay attention to them and everything.
All right.
And I've been baking something, so I'm only, okay, put your thing in the garbage, Connor, and you know, all that stuff. So I'm going to print that thing out and listen to the recording.
No problem. I totally get it.
Okay. See you later.
All right, guys. So off of health, then we have all the different aspects that has to do with, so fitness or working out, exercise would be one of them. Another one would be like nutrition. Another one could be personal. It could be, it depends. You think about this, and you guys can speak up. You don't have to stay muted. This is a conversation that we're having. But it could be personal development. It could be, and obviously exercise. All of these things expand. So, you know, you're going to be talking about health several times a week. You might talk about your workout one day. You might talk about sharing a recipe another time. Like, that's nutrition. So what are a couple other areas that kind of branch off of health? I'm going to unmute you, Lindsay, if that's okay. So you can just talk.
Oh yeah, you're fine. I was gonna say, I didn't want to figure, I know the baby's eating. I was gonna say for me right now is like just, well, see, and I don't know if it would be like health or just like motherhood, like trying to navigate that. You know what I mean?
With the fitness and everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, because I think motherhood might be another storyline.
Yeah, I was wondering.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Right, but and then if you have motherhood as another storyline, you can have you know, how to get in. I mean, it's not like separate, you know, but it could be how how motherhood or how fitness is integrated into your time.
Ideally, right.
But and so I think that we have it can be two different storylines. So a post can I'm thinking when we write a post, we can decide, okay, is this going to, because the topic can be like working out, right? It can be the same picture, same topic, working out, but are you talking about working out and how it relates to your health, how it adds to your health? So that would be our health storyline, I think.
Right.
But if you're going to be focusing on working out as part of motherhood, part of the time, and then that would be your motherhood storyline. So I think we just need to decide, okay, what are we going to talk about? So even if it's the same,
what are we going to narrow it into?
Right.
That day, say.
Yes. So that's what I think what I've learned is that your content on Instagram and Facebook can be the same picture. It can be a similar message, but totally different captions. Because maybe for that day on Instagram, you're talking about working out in the mom cracks, you know, the time. But on Facebook, you'll be talking about how the you know, like an inspiration, motivational thing, working out. Then you have two different contents, because I think one of the main things is that at least what I learned is that you don't post the exact same content exact same time on both Facebook and Instagram.
That's what I was actually going to ask you.
Yeah,
question to you,
because you don't want it.
Chance is so good.
Because you know you want to have the best, or you want to make the most of whatever you're typing up, whatever whatever your post is. And if you post at the same time, same content, then you're just basically reaching the same people, because they're the ones logged in at that time. So you want to stagger your content, but you don't want to make two entire different posts. So, like with pictures with captions. So you can start out, you can start working out, and then later on switch the captions. Does that make sense?
Yes.
At a different time. So,
Yeah.
so that one focuses on motherhood and another post focuses on like an inspirational, motivational thing.
Right. Okay.
And that's something too, when you find you make a post that gets really good feedback, it'd be really good to use, and Joy talks about a specific Google Notes or Google
Keep.
I want to start using Google Keep to put those posts.
Right.
There's one in particular I've used 3 times, and every single time I've used it, I've got the best feedback, and it's a great message. So when we take the time to do that, it's important to save the things that are working, because we can use that again. And I talk about that as well on that content marketing call. And this is stuff I think that as a team is an area we can all grow in, because I think many of us know we've heard stuff before, but acting on it and actually following it, because we get overwhelmed with everything. I think that's something that maybe as a team we can work together on. So, with the health, I have like nutrition, we have exercise. And there was another one. I'm wondering
if nutrition can be broken down more, like one would be food and mindset. I don't know.
He said mindset actually could be, because you could talk about, and I will put that on there as one of them. This is an example that Bob Heilig gave. He actually gave one on health, and he did have mindset as one of them. Oh, the other one was beauty. If that's what you like you like the style. Well, why are you so into style? Why do I care about, a lot of people, it interconnects beauty and exercise and health and nutrition, because you want to look good. So maybe doing makeup tutorials and stuff, still, all of that stuff can still be in that one storyline. Does that make sense? So I am going to actually put that on there. So do you guys have 4 for health?
So you suggest like fashion that still connects to health?
It can, and I think things can interconnect, but it's something that you're passionate about.
Right.
And you did a post yesterday that would work specifically for this category, that talked about how you were working on your style and everything, and you realized you had gained 10 pounds, and that was a beautiful post, by the way. And it showed your heart, and but it connected your health and your fashion and everything together. So that would be a perfect example of how that works. And I don't think all of them have to just be like that. Like, you can still do a makeup tutorial, and that's based on health, because I think being healthy can be more than just, taking care of ourselves, or self-care. And Lindsay, that might be along the lines of what you were talking about as well. With mother, it would be like you would have exercise, nutrition, like mindset, self-care. Like self-care would be that, like as a mom, to remember to take care of yourself, fill your cup. So I'm gonna put beauty/self-care on mine.
Yeah, I think I like the wording of self-care, because it clicks in my head when you just said that.
Good. Awesome. So the second content circle, Lindsay, for you, I have one that comes to mind is your real estate.
Yes.
About that.
Yes.
Maybe put that in one of your, and maybe work would be it. Work or real estate. And Joy, do you have any? What would your second? You muted yourself.
Yeah, I know. Well, because when I nod, I make a lot of noise when I you know what, I don't know, family is what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, family is one of mine too. Why don't we work on family?
Right. Yeah. So I would have, maybe for family, I would have kids. Um, I don't know if I'm ready to talk about, if I have a lot to talk about marriage
Mm-hmm.
at this point. It's something in the future that maybe I can
Yep.
grow into. But definitely kids. Um, I'm thinking like I've started on Facebook. My on Tuesdays I go live
Mm-hmm.
for Short Tip Tuesday, just a mix of cooking, um, small tips that I've used around the house. So um, I don't know exactly how to categorize that, because I think that's family.
Household. I mean, it could be for tips around the house and stuff.
Yeah, some tips and some um,
Hacks,
cooking stuff.
your cooking hacks, your
Yeah, cooking hacks, exactly.
well, the cooking would be nutrition. I think
Right.
from different categories, right? And I think they should be from different categories. If you're doing something about your household or your, I think that would be, you could put household or
Time freedom.
time free, like freedom with time, like with family, like yeah, maybe like hacks, like
Mm-hmm.
like as what Carrie was saying, maybe like hacks, like things that or tips. You can even like household tips.
Right.
Could be
Okay.
one of your categories.
Because I was going to say, I was even thinking like when you brought up the cooking, because for me, like I would probably set mine aside as like because I always call it like my mommy Michael dates with my first. So it was almost like my son time. Because that I used to do weekly. And then another one I was thinking was like my cooking for like, because I have certain times that I'll like go live with my son because we're cooking or baking something.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like a good family recipe,
Mm-hmm.
So to me that would be like a branch off of family, like family friendly meals maybe, or
See, because
5-minute meals.
will intertwine,
Right. So it's
so
okay that you can do that, right?
absolutely. This is to give a good, so that you're taking from each area. So if you want to talk about your health and about self-care and all that, you want to talk about family, whether it's marriage, kids, faith. I put faith in family, and soccer, sports. Soccer for us is huge because it is probably a quarter of my life. So, and the thing, and it will, and this will evolve as you
Right.
work through it too. Like this is to get us a rough draft to get us started. So, and there's going to be overarching themes. Like for instance, probably health and health is going to be an overarching theme in every single one. Faith is going to be an overarching theme for a lot of us. Mindset is an overarching theme, but so yeah, so we have health, we have family, and then I decided for my third one, it kind of struck me like, what are you passionate about? And I was reading in Intentional Living again today, and John C. Maxwell was even talking about that, like what are we passionate about? What lights us up? What? And for me, I love talking about social media. I love talking about that kind of stuff and marketing. So one of my circles is going to be social media / marketing. And I'm going to start doing little trainings. I haven't really fully decided everything, but I think this third category that we choose should be something that is you're really passionate about. I mean, you're passionate about your family and your health, but what is something else you're really passionate about?
I was thinking faith. But I don't know how to break that down yet. But that was when you were thinking. I like sharing what my reflections or what I get during prayer or things like that, I think I do it well, or I share well when I share my faith. So I think I'm gonna put that down for now as a storyline. But I don't know how to put that yet, to break that down. Do you have any?
Well, you said you like to give reflections, maybe put
Right.
reflection in one of those. I mean,
Uh-huh.
I do think with faith, I think for all of us, it's an overarching, because it has to do with fitness.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
faith with everything, mindset, PD. So we put like mindset on things. It can be mindset / PD, you know, faith. Next to family, I put faith by family as one of
Mhm.
my outer circles, because that is kind of like, you know, marriage, family, kids, faith, all of that stuff kind of, you know. But if you're going to do it as a main one, you could do that, do your reflections, do
Could you do like family prayer?
Right. Sure. Yeah.
Or like, you know what I mean? Like, but narrow it into like faith. So if you have like set times that you pray as a family, or
Right.
kids to get out of it. I don't know.
I know.
It's so hard.
I'll have to rethink faith as a big storyline, because I don't know how to put that down.
I think you could probably put style down as a big storyline, not as a little break.
Okay.
It's a big part of what you talk about, but
Right.
I think faith is something that you have as an overarching, because you're probably going to talk about faith as it has to do with your family. You can
Right.
talk about faith as it has to do with mindset, as it has to do with your health,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah, your self-care. Yeah, I agree, Michelle.
Right. Right.
Yeah, and then with fashion, you know, whether it's fashion or self-care as its own, you could do like fashion, you could do so you talk about the capsule wardrobes and stuff.
Right.
I'm sorry.
You know, how you, maybe modesty with how you dress your kids, you know,
Right.
a lot of that.
Okay. Addition to the family, I was thinking about as a topic for family is not just my background, you know, not just my family as this family I'm building, but my story background, my family background. You know, I think that's so it's an insight into where I'm coming from, or what, you
Like
know.
heritage.
Right. Yeah.
I think that could be on your like I like that song, This Is Me.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Me. This Is Me can be one of your side, either on that or even on the one with, and I don't know that family is the right word for the middle one that has to do with marriage, soccer, family might be it, you know, but one of those two you could do. But I think probably with the style, that'll be a perfect side one. This is,
Okay.
and tell your story as you know. And I do think that that can be also, like, again, a lot of these can be overarching, that sense of, why am I so passionate about exercising? You know, what is the history that has, you know, or about my family or faith or whatever. But at least for now, put it in one of those.
Okay.
What is your third one?
Mine. I agree with you, and I would have thought real estate. So I kind of have been trying to reach out anyway, and I'm working on it, because I don't know why I can't access it. But I'm trying to do like a feature Friday for like new properties for our team. So this way, that was kind of like something, like anything like new listings or something that we want to get out. I have like a DIY, because like even me being home, like I've been trying to I love trying to do things on my own. It's just tough with kids to actually do it. But like little tips or creative, like, oh, here, you can decorate your table, or this is how you can, you know, stage your house or something, you know, along that line, like a DIY. The other one that I thought it's kind of with family, I guess, but kind of with like just real estate, or I guess just a working mom.
Mm-hmm.
Because you figure like the benefit right now is that I'm home and I'm not having to worry about like my real, like my real job is what I call it, like my state job. So like to me, like the real estate's like that, but that's why I would kind of put like working mom, like full time. So this way that could be like an area that I could connect to somebody with, like, hey, you're busy, you have full-time hours. But it's tough. Because I think that's almost like when I think about it, like my avatar, like who I want to reach, as opposed to like a storyline, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know,
I think you have some really good, for the real estate, you have some really good outer circles there.
Yeah.
To help get that focused. So yeah, so I did put social media and branding in the middle of my third circle, but I'm wondering if I should do like CEO, because I want to also talk about like really have personal development be something that, you know, I love the leadership stuff. So I might do that and then just have, so have that be the main one, CEO, and then have the side ones be like social media tips, marketing and branding, you know.
Right.
now, yeah, and I like that, like with how you're having like tips, because maybe because I've been trying to like actually read through some of the real estate magazines that I get, like maybe have like one of my branches be like tips for selling or tips for buying, you know, just tips in general, like, and be able to do that for one of my posts.
Right. So tips, PD,
where would you put like books, would that be in mindset, you think? That if you want to share specifically about what you're learning, what you're reading, because I haven't started it yet, but I've the idea, I'm going through Girl Wash Your Face again. And then I downloaded, there's Rachel Hollis released a free like discussion guide. And so my plan is to go through that, and then maybe whatever I kind of get from each chapter, I share in a live something in an Instagram, maybe in a live format. I know because live and video is a big thing, so I'm trying to generate something that's ongoing. But would that be what? I don't know.
I wonder if it would be under like health and like self-care.
The self-care, like a subset.
Yeah.
I
was just thinking about that.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, because I was just thinking about that, because I was like, what was on my heart even was trying to do like, because I loved how Michelle reached out about like, oh, we're reading this book. And I thought about doing that like with friends of mine, even just to generate more, connections, or just people who are like struggling, but like make it nothing difficult, hard, you know what I mean? But just something to say, hey, I enjoy reading. I want to do this with a couple people. Does anybody want to read this with me?
Yeah.
But I was even thinking, I wonder if you could put it under like family as like a hobby. Do you know, like if you have a hobby that you would do as a family, so whether it's like camping or, like for me, because that's when you were saying that, like I love being outside. So to me, like one of my under family, maybe like a hobby of like outdoor activities. If that makes, like, I don't know,
Well, like we have soccer for my family, because
right.
all we ever do is soccer. Like if you like hiking and camping and you're doing that stuff constantly, like if it's a big part of your life, then you want it to be a category. If it's not a big part of your life, then you can use it under kids. Went with the kids and they were cute and this is what we did,
Makes sense.
Yeah, but it's fine. Yeah, it's just finding those. And the mindset, I think, can definitely cover a ton of stuff, So I still have to fill out my last 2 here, and I'm going to think about that later. But let's look at actually creating putting some sort of calendar type thing together. So Joy, did you have an actual calendar that you shared or no?
No, okay, I'll show you what I was just working on this yesterday. I just, here's my calendar. I have it. So it's a regular calendar, and I just have on top is Instagram, on the bottom is Facebook. And then I have in different colored highlights, like for Instagram, like I said, my captions will cover tutorials or behind the scenes. So that's usually recipes I have. And then I have my why, and then personal insight or about me, and some inspiration, motivation. And then the 5th one is benefits or showcase, like how, usually I would write about Shakeology or our team call or Beachbody on Demand. So what I try to do is that I look at what I'm posting and have more or less a variety of kinds of posts, so that it's colorful. So it's just so that I'm not posting all about inspirational, like motivational quotes one after the other, or I see that I haven't done a lot of recipe stuff, because I look at I don't see yellow on my calendar. So that's I've tried to just rotate. I don't have like a clear, okay, I have to do this on this day or this on that day, but more or less just try to cover a variety of topics anyway. So that it's not just all about because it's easy for me to write inspirational posts like, okay, go get it, or let's do this, you can do it. That's easier for me to write. It's just because usually when after working out you hear stuff from the trainer and you get insight, oh, okay, I'm going to write about that. So that's easy. I think that's always content. But well, that's a big part of what I want to do. I want to make sure that I'm also covering other topics, other types of captions.
So like what he recommends is you take, like, you go through these, like, okay, I'm gonna do one from this category, and then you go again. And so if you post,
right.
say you post twice a day,
right,
and you have 7 days a week, you use 14 posts a week.
Yeah.
That you want to come up with. Now, what he says is you only need 1 to 2 posts a day, one to 3 posts a day. Right. But if you have a post that's doing really well, get the engagement going on that post, and you don't have to post again. But for the sake of planning things out, I think planning 2 posts a day is a good thing. So you just, or you say you do, so you go through this, you do one on health, one on family. The next day you do one on, I would do one on CEO, then one on health, right. And then the next day, one on family, one on CEO. You just keep going and write that on the calendar. So maybe that would be something.
Yeah, or you can have not necessarily working around the storylines, but about your topics. Let's say today you're talking about health, but one would be on mindset and one would be on self-care. You know what I mean? I think, and then because sometimes there's a lot of things happening in your health. Like if it's a workout day, there's so many things you may want to share that, oh, okay, this was a mindset breakthrough for me. So that mindset, but you can also use a similar, because I'm thinking about images too. I'm thinking, how do we maximize the image? Is what I'm thinking. So that, because that takes a lot of time for me to edit your picture, to take a picture and stuff. Right. So I'm thinking, okay, if I want something, maximize the image, so that same image on on Instagram, I would talk about health as a the mindset subtopic, and then on Facebook I would talk about the same image maybe, but on self-care. And so that at another, maybe on Wednesday, I can have another picture, but just switch the captions around, so that it's still the same topic. I mean, the same things. It's less work in terms of image editing and all that. But because I think I would go crazy if I'm trying to plan Instagram and Facebook separate posts for Instagram and Facebook, and I have to go through, okay, one is health, one is family on both days. I don't know.
I think maybe if we create a calendar, what we could do is have everything planned out, and then what we do is we do Monday through Friday, almost Monday through Sunday or whatever, and post 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on Facebook, but post 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3 or on Instagram.
Okay. That's right.
That way you rotate it, and then you can just, if you have to edit it a little bit, it's still the same. You can have the same content, the same picture, and just because I've heard of people doing that, just kind of rotating when they're posting stuff, and I've seen people do that, like who are influencers, and so I would say that's probably. I agree with you. You don't want to do two different things.
I know Shalene Johnson does that a lot. She recycles her content, and she still gets a ton of engagement. So
yeah, well, and that's one of the things in the master class that I have, and it was such a long master class. So it's I need to probably break it down a little more. But Bob Heilig, he talked about doing your live videos and then having them sending them to rev.com, I think it is, to get the captions on them, because the captions make people actually watch them more. So you want to get the captions on them, and then also have them, they'll also provide the actual script for the wording. And then he says, use that wording to create posts. And then you put the posts and the pictures and the wording and everything in a file on Google for that specific topic for that specific day or whatever. And then over time, you start getting all this content that you can start beginning to pull from, because people don't remember stuff.
Right.
And so you can just go right back to that folder. You have the picture, you have everything. So you can either use the same picture or make a new one that's similar, but you don't have to rethink the whole thing. You're saving yourself time and energy.
Sorry. No, go ahead.
I was going to ask, so now when you're doing that, do you have the same written out content, or do you switch even what you're writing? Like if you were to do a post on health and nutrition and then health and self-care, and say it's the same picture or, mindset, whatever it might be, do you switch what you're saying from what Facebook has
to Instagram?
Or do you keep it the same, but you just put it on a different day?
I think we put it on a different day, and you might want to for Instagram. I mean, maybe you want to shorten it, or maybe but it's not, I don't think it's that big of a deal. The big thing is you have to make sure that you put little periods in between the paragraphs.
Right, the format.
Some emojis, which you want to do for Facebook anyway. And then I've heard back and forth, I've heard some people say that you do not want to put the hashtags in the comments because you don't get as much of the algorithm for Instagram doesn't catch on as much as when it's in the actual post. So I kind of want to research that myself to double check, but that's kind of what I've been hearing lately. So I kind of try to see what some of the other people do, like Gary Vee and whatnot, and he puts his in his comments, but then again, he's got so many followers, he doesn't have to worry about attracting people either. So, but
that's I forget where I heard, but to put it in the comments, and it could have been, you figure it could have been from Gary Vee from a training, or even Bob Heilig. I can't remember.
Shalene Johnson originally said that, and then I think that she or someone else said don't put it in the comments, because then people were getting suspended or having issues with, like, they're breaking rules or something. And then I think what happened is, the latest thing I heard is that you can put them in the comments, but Instagram doesn't give it as heavy of a weight. as in the post itself.
Uh-huh.
That's just what I heard.
Okay.
But I don't know. I mean, I would definitely look it up. Like I would, that's just what I heard. I can't say that is 100% true.
And then how would you, like, 'cause I know, Joy, you're probably really good at this, like for the Instagram with the stories.
No, I'm not.
For like the stories, like, you know how you have like the 5 groups? How often, like, I think I struggle with, I can always get a post pretty much every day. My struggle is finding something to put in for like the stories, like the daily stories, because you know what I mean? So people can just go through it. Do you put your post in your story? Because I know Facebook allows you to
Some people
make
do.
it via,
Yeah.
do you do that?
Stories is more the unscripted ones. I've just been trying. I'm doing what Michelle's doing too. When in the morning, I love that post. Morning, just a shot of my prayer journal, my rosary, and my coffee. Then that's my morning shot. It's in my stories. Good morning. And then I have the time there, and then I want to do maybe a shot of me working out. Just it's 15 seconds. So I don't think too much of what I'm going. I don't plan out too much what I'm going to put in stories. It's more like, okay, this is what's happening. More like a snapshot of your day.
It's kind of like a rough cut. And I think that there's a balance. It's another thing I wrote down today, that I read a list of all the things I want to do. And one of the things I want to do is really learn more about Instagram stories, and not from Beachbody coaches, because I think Beachbody coaches have their own idea. And some of the stuff I've heard them say to do, I've heard other trainers say don't do. So I kind of want to follow and see that. But like you put a picture of you, maybe a little clip of you working out or whatever, but don't put 50 clips of you working out, you know, like maybe a couple different ones if you want to show a couple things. But I've been trying to be careful not to put too much of one thing, and keep it kind of like people have a short attention span. So keep them interested. So a lot of times I'll add a little caption, and I'll put a little color behind it to make it easier to see. Or like I can show you some of like,
and I think too, like I was trying to put in like for my stories, like, 'cause I know at the tops they even have,
So I did a little story of what Claire doing my hair, because it was a fun process. Although here's the thing, when you upload your videos, make sure they upload before you upload the next one, or they upload out of order. But then I was tired. I'm like, oh, look, don't tell her my eyes are shutting, you know, being kind of funny in my caption.
Yeah.
And then that's this morning, and I haven't posted again yet on that. But like I'll post.
I was even trying to break down like my stories, like trying to like have some consistency, but thinking ahead, like and I have a fly flying around here. Trying to think along the lines of like having like maybe like food be like one of my, I guess, like the drop down things where you can save them.
Yeah, I haven't done those highlights.
That's the highlight. Yes, that's what I was trying to think of, like highlights, even like trying to be like, okay, well maybe food can be one, but I like how we broke this down into the content circles, because I might actually do one as like real estate.
That's a good idea, I think.
I did what we eat, my life, marriage, family time. I did one calling doing birthdays, because I want to also, when I find things that are an example of like for family, we have a really cool thing that we do on birthdays. So I did that. But that's exactly what you should do, is take those content circles and be like, so I'll probably do branding.
Okay.
And I haven't done this though, but another tip I learned for content is, because there's IGTV now, right?
Right.
And so an idea would be what you do live on Facebook, you save it as a video, and then you put it up you upload it to IGTV if it's good content. You know, if it's not just you rambling, whatever. But if it's good content, you upload it to IGTV, and then you can do let's say it's a post on like, because I'm thinking if I'm doing a Facebook Live of cooking a recipe, I'm preparing a dish, I can save that, upload it into IGTV, so that now it's saved as a video, and then post about it on Instagram, a picture of my recipe, and saying, hey, check out my IGTV showing this, that.
I've seen
I
that.
like that idea.
So good.
So it's one content that you created on Facebook, right? But you're using it for IGTV and then as a post too.
And something I love that Gary Vee does for that, the IGTV, is he always does sideways videos, but the very first thing he puts at the top of his video when it's straight up and down, and he says, turn your phone, and he has a little arrow, and then you turn your phone sideways, and then you watch it. But yeah.
That's an idea about content too.
Yeah, I love that idea though. And I think I've seen you do that.
I did it once.
Right.
So,
I saw that
yeah.
one. I think I saw that one. I love that idea too, because that way you're not putting a bunch of content in your, taking up your feed, but it's all in your story, which people are intentionally going to your story.
Right. Also, because sometimes, thing about what you were saying about stories where you don't want a bunch of the same, like if you're working out, you don't want a bunch of 5 videos of you working out, one after the other. Because I've noticed on my with myself is if it's the same, I just click. I don't even watch it. Or the worst thing is you just swipe. When you swipe it, you move on to the next person, right? Because I mean, if I was just gonna see the same content, same thing, I'm just gonna swipe to the next one. I don't have time to watch all your videos.
Right. And I noticed that when I'm looking at stories and I see people, they're talking in a million different stories, and it's them just talking. I swipe. I go to the next one. The same thing with a million workout videos, one after the other. I'm like, I don't need to see that. But the one thing though that I did this one time, and I think I want to do more of this, is if you do a story where you're talking and you want to give tips or something, be like, okay, I did this. I said I had a really rough morning and I was crying in the shower. I was like, this is not okay. And so I did these 5 things to turn my day around, and now I'm ready to kick it, knock it out of the park. And then you do one story with, here's number 1, and then number story, here's number 2, going through like that, because that gives people a reason to watch the next story and not just swipe. So I think that would work. But yeah, you have to, when you're doing it, like when we put content out, of course we think it's important and everyone's going to love it. But you have to think about if I'm watching, would I swipe left?
Right, exactly. Would I just move on to the next person?
Right.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I think this is a really great start. I would love to see a picture of your calendars in the team page once they're put together. Snap a pic, and I'll do mine too. And we'll start a thread where I'll post mine, and then I want you to post yours underneath there. Or maybe Joy, you do it because you already have yours done. Post your
just a post, right? I mean, just show an idea of what I'm doing.
Take a picture, put it up there, and say, all right, we're putting our content calendars together. If you haven't listened to the team call, once it's uploaded, watch the team call, and let's see your content calendars in the comments. And then you can also say there's going to be a prize drawing out of everyone that puts their calendar. I will do a prize drawing, and I'll send a prize to someone.
Okay.
I've got a little stash of prizes that I've just kind of been in my little closet, and I need to come out of it now. So, well, maybe it's not the best, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Anyway, so if you want to do that, that's great. You can kind of take the lead on getting people to do the calendar, and then let's get it done. Let's do this. Like, we have the tools, we just have to use them. So you guys agree? Are we going to have that on there?
Yes.
Okay, when are we going to have it on there by? Let's give a date. Let's agree.
I'll post it I'll post mine. I'll make the post after our call.
Okay.
Because otherwise I'd forget.
Lindsay?
I was going to say, I'm probably going to do mine tonight and early tomorrow I'll get it up. What's today, Monday? I'll definitely get it up by Wednesday morning is my
I'll get
thought.
mine up by tomorrow night. My friend Carrie is here and she's leaving tomorrow afternoon. So I'll make that my goal that by tomorrow night, I've got my calendar up and I'll put a picture and put it under there. And guys, whoever's watching this video recorded, I'm encouraging you and challenging you to take this challenge. You'll be entered in a prize if you put your picture to win a prize. Because this is about learning how to share your story. But honestly, guys, it's about shining and inspiring people is what it's about. And it will help your business. It will help your business grow. It'll help your Beachbody business. And if you have other businesses, it'll help that as well. So, okay.
Now, do you want us to also post our content circles?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Because I was going to say, I think that's a good idea too, because it might, I mean, I know like we kind of brainstorm, but it might even give us a little bit more insight to maybe somebody else's thought on how they're breaking down health. You know what I mean? Because kind of how we were kind of wondering about family and health, see how somebody else might break it down or if they'd add anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's
I'd love it.
So do you think we should do a post for content circles and a post for 2 different posts? Or
Yeah, I think 2 different posts.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe 2. All right, 2 different posts, and the prize will be for the people who actually go through and make. We'll do a drawing for the people who actually go through and make a calendar. How's that?
Okay. How much are we deciding? Okay, how far calendar do you want it scheduled, or just whatever you can have a week, at least a week's worth?
Well, we're almost at mid-September. Why don't we just do till the end of the month? Or is that too much?
Nope, let's go to the end of the month.
Because this way it'll give us like, we'll be set. If we're all done this by, you know, our date, then we'll all be set for the month. And we'll be able to have all the content we need.
Yep, let's do that to the end of the month. We're going to have it scheduled. And if you guys want, we can always have another working call where we help actually create the posts and stuff. But I don't know if people need help for that. So give me feedback on it. So.
Okay.
All right.
All
Guys,
right.
Sounds good.
showing up. This was really productive. I'm excited. All right. You guys have an amazing day, and I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.